Good afternoon, friends. It's Wednesday, December 16. Time for the reflection. It was bound to happen, wasn't it? Earlier this month, Solano County, our county, was grouped with 10 other counties in the Greater Bay Area based on hospitalization gatherings. And we were warned that when the ICU beds went below 15% of availability, we would return to a regional stay-at-home order, similar to the orders that took place back in March when we first entered this coronavirus life. Earlier today, Solano County went into that regional stay-at-home as the ICU beds went under 15%. So as of 11:59 p.m. Thursday, December 17th, that's tomorrow night, Solano County will implement the regional stay-at-home order. I am sure that some of you who are hearing my reflection will not be happy with this news. I'm confident that I will hear and or see comments about how this is a violation of our rights, that it is absolutely unfair, and how law enforcement had better not enforce these unconstitutional mandates. I'm also sure that some of you who are hearing my reflection will be on the opposite end of that spectrum. I'm not sure if you will be happy, but you will be resigned to the stay-at-home order. I'm not sure that you'll see it as a unconstitutional mandate or a violation of your rights, but I believe also that you will say it's unfair, because it is. Let's agree with that. It is unfair, but then again, so is life in general. I feel like this is unfair to those who were following the earlier guidelines. We didn't travel or hold big outside the bubble gatherings at Thanksgiving. We've been wearing masks, washing our hands so often. We've stayed home more. We've been very careful with what we do and who we see. It is unfair. Southern California, the San Joaquin Valley, and the greater Sacramento region have already been under these regional stay-at-home orders for a period of time now. And within our own region, Marin, Sonoma, San Francisco, Alameda, and Santa Clara County at least also entered into the regional stay-at-home orders a few weeks ago in an effort to stave off and save ICU beds. Now we joined the other 10 counties in a regional stay-at-home. It is unfair. But as my parents repeatedly told me when I was growing up, and I know for sure that I said it to Alex at least a few times when he was growing up, life is not fair. Isn't that why we flock to movies like Star Wars or all of the Clint Eastwood and John Wayne movies? TV shows like Dallas were famous for showing the unfairness of life. I remember how Joan and I gathered with 4 of our friends each Friday night for dinner and then a Dallas watch party. We would gather to watch how JR and Bobby would fight it out. JR was always the evil villain guy, and it always seems like he won almost every single time until the season finales. And then something always happened to him. Or how many of those Dirty Harry movies did I go to when they came out? And why did I go? I mean, after the second one, I realized that Harry was going to fight for justice and eventually win, even though the bad guys, the criminals, had their temporary victories. So let's agree. Life is not fair. If it were, things would certainly be different. But it's also made me reflect that for a long time now, 8.5 months maybe, I've been wondering about our collective willingness to sacrifice. Can we do that now? Are we willing to forsake something, forego something for the sake of the other? In some moments, we shine in our sacrifices. I think of how we have come together over the years for victims of the many fires. Just this year, we gave $11,000 to one family. Our fundraiser for the residents of Santa Marta this year saw another $2,000 come in so that those folks could have a good Christmas present time. Our stewardship in this congregation for these last 9 months of COVID life have continued with gusto so that we have barely missed a beat. Your acceptance of our virtual worship life during our deployment has demonstrated your sacrificial life. We've not joined together for Easter worship, shy dinner, pumpkins on the hill, trunk or treat, harvest fest. The list goes on. All of those moments we've missed seeing each other on top of this hill, all in an effort to try to keep people safe and healthy. But then again, there seems to be a line that we're unwilling to cross when it comes to sacrifice. We are so divided over this coronavirus issue. I hear those who say that this is all a hoax. It's not that bad. It's no worse than the flu. I hear that from some in my own family. And I know that I'm confused at times because I also hear people who have received a positive COVID-19 test result. Some have recovered quickly, some not so quickly. Some of those who have recovered have said they have no after effects. Others have had lingering effects. Some have told me that they can no longer smell. Things don't taste the same anymore. When will it go away? Is the question I hear repeatedly from those folks. Others have told me that COVID-19 has caused death within their family and friend circles. I know that this is real. I know that COVID-19 is dangerous. I'm not a doctor, but I play one in my own mind, and it almost seems to me that in my doctor mind, COVID-19 has morphed. It's not been the same since we heard about it back in January and February. It's shown up in different ways. I'm only left to trust the professionals who are telling me things like masks, physical distancing, washing hands 3 to 4 times a day, and I am so tired of the hand washing, all provide protection. Not just for me, but for others as well, for those that I come in contact with. So I think I'm willing to sacrifice weird feeling hands, having to use hand lotion more often than I've ever done in the past, wearing masks that make me feel at times uncomfortable. They fog up my glasses, but I'm willing to make that sacrifice if it means that somebody else is protected, or I'm protected. And now with a vaccine already in the field and another one apparently on the way, relief is close. The end is in sight, but it's not here yet. It's not. And so we wait for the advent of a new time. Which maybe then asks the question, what will we do here at Shepherd of the Hills? What will happen now? Well, I'll tell you that I expect that we will continue as we have done over these last 9 months. With a regional stay-at-home order, Rob will probably continue to work from home. He can. Christine and I will be in our offices with our masks either on or at the ready. I believe we're probably going to lock the front door now because we're not willing to have others come in and either infect us or, God forbid, that we are asymptomatic, infect others. We'll be here especially to make sure that the mail can keep coming in. It's important for us to do that, to receive and to send. But I know that our letter carriers always come in with masks and they never get very close to us. Usually it's just a yelling out into the hallway, a greeting or two. We will continue to worship in our virtual realm as we've been doing. Our group spreads out very far within this worship space every Sunday, and I feel confident and hopeful that that will continue. I believe that those who are not leading at the moment will be putting masks on. I can tell you that when Joan sits here in worship with me, she always has her mask on, and she will continue to do so. We'll keep our numbers very low, but we'll be here because it's important for us to worship. It's essential for us to worship. I'd also ask each one of you to please sacrifice these next 3 weeks at least, so that others may not get infected, so that you may not get infected. That sacrifice may mean that traditions are not kept this year. Christmas won't be the same as it's always been. I know that I will miss not seeing my folks. They will be staying firmly in Arizona, they tell me, and we've shared and celebrated that news. I'll also miss not being able to go to see my friends in Sebastopol. Joan and I will miss not being able to gather with them as we have for almost every Christmas for more than 15 years. But then again, 2020 has not been the vision that I expected it to be. So what sacrifice will you make for the greater good? I do look forward to seeing you on Sunday, the fourth Sunday in the Advent season, the last Sunday of Advent. I look forward to seeing you on Sunday and reading your comments after I finish worship and I scroll through the Facebook feed. For those of you who watch this on YouTube, I'm sorry that things got a little screwed up over the weekend and YouTube didn't get posted until, I think, yesterday. I hear that YouTube was closed down for a while over the weekend. Don't know why, but it happened. Glad, however, that you can get a chance to see it. So until we can gather once more or see each other once more, please, 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 wear your mask. Wash your hands. I know 4 or 5 times a day is a pain in the hand, but that's why Joan tells me that hand lotion works wonders. Stay home if you're not feeling well. Keep the distance between you and others outside of your bubble. And of course, as Sergeant Esterhaus says, be safe out there.